This is Murder in the Morning with Tony Bruschi and Stacey Cole.
All right. The officer, the sheriff that shoots the judge, that's what we're talking about today. He shot his best friend in cold blood, then begged police not to kill him. Minutes later, we're going to watch that clip in just a second. Letcher County Sheriff Shawn Stines walked into Judge Kevin Mullins' chambers on the afternoon of September 19th, 2024, and opened fire. The judge tried to hide behind his desk, but it did not save him. Mullins, his friend for over 30 years, died inside the Letcher County Courthouse, where both men had worked for decades. The shooting was caught on surveillance footage, and when troopers arrived, the next few minutes became one of the strangest on-record arrests of a law enforcement officer in Kentucky history. Let's take a look at that clip because it is it's
chilling.
Something. It is very chilling. Okay, we got it right here. Let's go take a look. This is the minutes after.
Well, yeah, I understand why you're worried, but at the same time, you know how it is with something like this. We're going to be worried about you in the jail down here with local people. You know?
Right after he shot him.
Well, no weapons on me. So if I leave this building, I won't draw another breath.
In one of these rooms, and we're going to talk real fast.
Oh yeah, not in one of these right here.
I don't know. I think they cleared one out. So
I feel safe doing that.
why? I ain't gonna let nothing happen. Okay? I ain't gonna let nothing happen to you. So don't worry about that. I'll stick with you until you go to your cell. Okay? You'll be all right. I promise you.
I know better, man.
We gotta know what led to this, Mickey. What transpired leading up to this? Because I know it just didn't happen for no reason. Something's happened. Everything has a reason why it happened, and why somebody acts the way they do.
Just be fair to me.
We'll be fair to you.
Just don't beat on me.
I ain't gonna beat on you. Nobody else is gonna beat on you. You know that.
Don't shoot me. Somebody don't kill me, man.
Nobody's gonna shoot you. Nobody's gonna kill you.
Man, don't do that. Don't shoot me. Kill me and stuff.
What the hell is that? I mean, is this really a lot of delusion going on here? Was it triggered by the accusations that have been made about the judge? Don't beat on me. Don't shoot. I mean, number one, if the accusations are true about the judge and the sex and all that stuff, it seems that they really kind of had a crazy grip on everything and nobody was going to ever turn them in. So I'm going to guess he's talking about standard protocol to a certain extent of don't beat on me. That seems to suggest that this is a normal thing that happens over here in this jail that allegedly has basically a brothel going on in the judge's chambers.
Or he's having a complete mental breakdown.
True. Yeah.
And he's fabricating things. So it's really hard to ascertain what he's referencing here. Is this some scenario he made up in his head, or has he seen this, like you said?
Yeah.
You know, that they take the worst people that they've arrested and this is what they do to him. So he's concerned now he's one of them.
Yeah. Stines was handcuffed, obviously, in the hallway there, sat with his legs shaking like a ticking metronome, convinced he was going to be executed. I leave this building, I won't draw another breath, is what he said. And I did a little southern accent there that actually wasn't
Yes, you did. That was very good. Have you been working on it?
Well, I have a girlfriend that has a very strong southern accent, so I learn it, kind of. He told the troopers the sheriff turned suspect begged them not to take him to the Letcher County Jail an hour away. He wanted to be held in the jail next door. I'll get killed there. I get killed in a jail. There you go, a little bit more. He said, to be fair, this wasn't a subtle plea for leniency. It was spiraling into full-blown paranoia. He insisted the cops were plotting to kill him during transport. Don't shoot me. Nothing like that. He begged. That's kind of accurate to how it's. I don't know. Maybe I think
It was close.
I'm at a high school play level. I'm not at the. We're going to be reenacting this for the Netflix series level.
No.
Maybe junior high play level. I
You
don't
keep
know.
working on it. You might
I'll
make
get
it to
there.
the collegiate level.
I might get there. Trooper Clayton Stamper tried to talk him down, assuring him there was no plan to harm him, but Stines wasn't having it. He said the transport van would mysteriously stop and someone else would get in the car and kill him. It got to the point where Stamper agreed to let Trooper Jason Bates, a former Letcher County deputy and someone Stines trusted, handle the drive just to get him out of the building. And they led him to the car. Stines looked around the corners and scanned for attackers like a spy who'd read one too many Cold War thrillers. He stayed quiet for the drive, but the weight of what happened earlier that day hung heavy in silence. Here's what's known in this case. And there's a lot of things in this case that I think there's a lot of questions about. And also what possibly led to the unthinkable. Stines and Mullins had lunch together just hours before the shooting. They weren't distant colleagues. They were close, friends, seen dining together in public the same day. But something shifted. Did he get like tainted ham? I've always been concerned of tainted ham.
No, I don't think it was ham. I thought, didn't we read that they had like chicken strips or something?
Tainted chicken strips?
I don't know.
Was this the product of E. coli? Getting into the brain, a brain-eating amoeba that
Can you
gets in
imagine
there?
the defense coming up with a bad food defense?
A chicken finger defense.
Well, remember the Twinkie defense?
Well-
I'm going to look that up while you continue on because that just triggered something in me.
They were seen dining together that day, but something had shifted fast. Security footage before the shooting shows Stines pacing, anxious, using Mullins' own phone to call his daughter. He told officers later, "They're trying to kidnap my wife and kid." So whatever snapped in Stines' mind, it wasn't just about himself. He seemed to believe his whole family was in danger. Now, his defense team is preparing an insanity plea. Their argument, 2 weeks of intense stress, broke Stines mentally. The pressure apparently started building after he testified in a deposition related to the lawsuit involving his office. The lawsuit was filed by a woman named Sabrina Atkins back in January of 22. She accused Judge Mullins of exchanging sexual favors for legal leniency. She also said a deputy forced her to have sex in Mullins' chambers to stay out of jail, and that some of those encounters were secretly recorded by former deputy Ben Fields. Just days before the shooting, Stines gave testimony in a lawsuit, and according to the attorney, Jeremy Bartley, that's where things started unraveling. Stines allegedly feared the fallout from the deposition would ruin him, or worse, he was in fear for the safety of his wife and his daughter. Bartley wrote in a legal filing, "I think what you see there is the result of that." So now we have a sitting sheriff who believed people were coming for him and his family, killing his longtime friend and county judge inside a courthouse, then unraveling in front of state troopers who on Bodycam appear more confused and combative. Stines pled not guilty to murder. His legal team says the insanity defense will center around his mental state leading up to the shooting, especially the stress and paranoia triggered by the deposition. It's a case where a small town's most powerful figures, lawmen and judges, have been pulled into a swirling mix of scandal, fear, and betrayal. And the only thing certain is that one man is dead, another man's life is destroyed, and a quiet Kentucky courthouse became the site of a very public breakdown. What did you find?
So the Twinkie defense is a label for an improbable legal defense. It's not recognized as a legal defense in jurisprudence, but a catch-all term coined by reporters during their coverage of the trial of defendant Dan White for murders of a San Francisco city supervisor, 2 of them. While White's defense was that he suffered diminished capacity as a result of depression, a symptom of which was a change in his diet from healthy food to Twinkies and other sugary foods. Contrary to common belief, White's attorneys did not argue that the Twinkies were the cause of his actions, but that their consumption was symptomatic of an underlying depression.
Yeah.
You know, there is some proof that your diet obviously can influence how you feel about life.
He looks super healthy.
Yeah, yeah, that's a gentleman who might want to pay a little bit better attention to his diet
Yeah. Um,
for health reasons.
I'm going to think in prison, you don't get that level of portions. Um,
I'll tell you, I'm going to point this out. There's somebody local who I was actually very good friends with when I was on the morning show where I live,
mhm,
and she was a lovely contributor. She took part in crafts and art fairs around here.
mhm.
She was just arrested for embezzlement, like hundreds of thousands of dollars from nonprofits in this area.
Jesus Christ.
And she's had some issues with her weight. And I was devastated when I heard that she was arrested. I'm like, how in the hell could this happen to somebody who I guess I never suspected it.
Mhm.
But sadly, one of the things I thought about was, well, maybe her diet's going to get a little bit better now that she's in jail.
Like a positive, like, well,
Yeah,
maybe this.
I was trying to find the silver lining.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm not
like,
being judgmental.
yeah, it's like in a lot of cases where it's like, well, yes, the kids did lose the parent, but maybe that's best that they didn't have to endure a lifelong of upbringing by this person, had they not committed this crime and had themselves forcibly removed from the family. I just wonder about this whole thing because he was in that deposition the 2 weeks before, and I have no idea what the facts of any of it are. There's certainly accusations against the judge of basically operating a brothel out of his chambers. Um, there's a lot of dark stuff. I don't know
Yeah.
what the sheriff was involved in either. The two had been pretty damn tight for many years. So I don't think it's a far stretch to wonder or ponder, like, well, was the sheriff realizing that he was going to be charged with something? Was something going to come out of that? Although we haven't seen that yet. Or are they just holding that off because of this being another crime with a murder involved? Or was he just so shaken by the people that he trusted? Maybe he was taken for such just shaken by what he had found out about people he trusted and thought were different people and what they had done. And did that shake him to this point of, almost like a mental collapse? And I got to kill the people, this guy that I know has done horrible things. And I don't know what he's done or not, but I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in the brain, if anything, because you could also just have it be really shook up from everything, just a certain amount of stress of what were you involved with. Maybe you don't know what you were caught at. What was your friend involved with? And all this is going to come to a head. And that just, boom, had a mental breakdown. And this was the result of it. I don't know.
And again, what would make somebody who is that close to the legal system decide to take matters into their own hands?
Well,
Because
there's that level
he's
of
somebody who
paranoia.
sees this process and knows that it works.
Mhm.
And he decided, nope, I need to take this a step further and eliminate this man for whatever reason. Instead of letting the court do its due diligence.
I'm sure his family has a lot more insight into this. We have not heard anything from them yet. I'm sure it's all waiting for trial. But the fact that he was sitting there and he called his daughter on the judge's phone, it leads you to believe there's either, again, this is all complete paranoia. It's a mental break and he's believing there's something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Called his daughter. There's either a reason for it or there's not. And it's all either the paranoia or there's something that triggered that because of something factual. But the guy, I mean, everyone's looking at this guy like he's crazy, like he's having a breakdown. Is he? Or does he know something the rest of us don't know?
Well, and he decided to cross that line that I'm going to take this guy out instead of maybe not letting the system figure out what's going on, because this is a really bad man.
And I'm not trying to get conspiratorial, but he's behind bars now. He can't protect his family. So, and he's been very quiet on what the reasoning was other than insanity. Does he know, like, are there other people out there that if he were to still start singing about this, would then his family be in even more grave danger because he's not out there to protect them? So in his best interest and in their best interest, it is for him to say insanity. Otherwise, something will happen to them. I don't know. Or is that the paranoia?
It's a good point.
Is it real or is it not?
You know, if he thinks that there's some corruption inside this department.
I mean, if this judge is able to run basically a brothel out of his chambers, I'm going to guess there's a lot of people that look the other way on things and are paid off, and you could pretty much carry out something pretty horrific if you wanted to. I don't know. I mean, it's a weird case. It's a small town politics, and things get dark in some of these small towns. So I think the answer is I don't know. But it's a very fascinating case, and we've been watching it for a long time, and we'll keep watching it. But that's the latest in an update on the Kevin Mullins murder case. It's, Let me know what you think in the comments on YouTube or on X or wherever you're watching this. Press subscribe wherever you're downloading the podcast if you're doing that over there. And subscribe on YouTube, please, so you don't miss, like I said, any of the coverage on this case.
Craving non-stop true crime updates? Press subscribe now and get the latest cases, analysis, and expert commentary delivered straight to your feed. Only from the Hidden Killers podcast and True Crime Today.